So today we are to discuss the order of operations, also known as PEMDAS, among many other names. So why do we have to have an order of operations? It's because of conventions. Of course, we need to standardize things because we need equations to send stuff to other places like the moon or other countries. Equations are very important in our even our daily lives. So we need to have a convention, kind of like the order of adjectives, which to be fair I haven't memorized yet in preparation for the college entrance exams. But yeah. It's basically so what they say isn't ambiguous so other people will understand what we say every time in terms of math for the order of operations. So the first priority when doing PEMDAS problems is the parenthesis and the grouping, specifically what's inside them. So common grouping symbols include parentheses, brackets, braces, and even fraction bars can be counted as grouping symbols. For the second priority, we have exponents and roots, which includes powers and square roots, but these are ones that you will encounter later on in life. Now for the third priority, this includes multiplication and division, which are of the same level. So you have to operate them from left to right. So this is where most of the confusion comes from because of how many signs can be used to express multiplication and division. So we have the parentheses or even brackets and braces. We have the multiplication dot, we have the asterisk, we have the multiplication cross. That's only for multiplication. For division, we have the slash, the fraction bar, and the division sign or obolus as some might call. Now for the easiest part, you need to add and subtract last. So you evaluate them from left to right if you see multiple plus or minus left. But your goal is to basically remove all of the multiply, divide, exponent, stuff like that, and leave just plus and minus in the end. So here's the first example. You might notice that there are parentheses, so we must do what is inside first. And inside the parentheses, we have a subtraction and a multiplication. But according to PEMDAS, the multiplication and division take priority over the subtraction. So let's do that first. 5 times 2 equals 10. Then let's do the subtraction inside the parentheses. 12 minus 10 equals 2. Lastly, let's do 10 minus 2, which is equal to 8, the final answer. So here we have a complex example with the fraction bar in it. So basically, you have to do the first part, the one on top, and the second part, the one on the bottom. Not necessarily in that order. Then you divide the top by the bottom. So basically, it's the top part divided by the bottom part. That's basically the concept of fractions. So first, let's do 6 times 4 on the top. That is equal to 24. Then we need to subtract 16. So 24 minus 16 is equal to 8. Then we have the 2 parentheses 8 on the top. And don't be confused, that isn't parentheses. That is actually multiplication. So let's remove the parentheses and replace it by a times sign so you don't get confused. Okay, now we do 2 times 8 is equal to 16. Then at the bottom now, let's do 3 times 2 first before the subtraction because of course multiplication takes precedence over the subtraction. 3 times 2 is equal to 6. Now we have 10 minus 6, which is equal to 4. Then we do 16 divided by 4, which is equal to 4. based on the multiplication tables. Now we have 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6.